Medicare Open Enrollment is a time of year when you want to pay attention to your Medicare plan. Open enrollment, or it's called annual election, is October 15th to December 7th. During that time, I always send out a couple of letters to my clients to remind them it's annual election or open enrollment, a few emails, because I want to talk to them about their plan and do a quick review. Most of the time, it's just a 5 or 10 minute conversation, but other times it can be a little longer. And the first thing I want to deal with is their prescriptions. So have their medications changed? What are their new medications? And so I'd like to have on file a list of their medications, and we run them through the software to make sure the plan they're on, the Part D plan or the Part C Medicare Advantage plan, is the best one for them. Also, to check the provider directory. Now, in our area, we have 3 networks. The Medicare Advantage plans work well. Just about every doctor I can imagine is in network. It's not really an issue, but always to double check. Now, I have clients all throughout the country, and those clients I definitely want to check to make sure all of their doctors are still in network. Sometimes things can change. I remember one year I checked and the doctor wasn't in the directory, which was really unusual. And so my client who was with me at the time called up the doctor's office, and she ended up talking to the office manager. Turns out that he hadn't signed his credentialing paperwork, and she was the office manager was trying to get him to sign it. And my client, who was really a friend of his, got him on the phone, scolded him, and he signed the forms and got credentialed for that year. So, but it's always good to check to make sure all of the doctor's facilities are in network. If you're in another area, sometimes that's much more critical. Then copays. So if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, to kind of review the copays with people. This year, the copays hardly changed at all, though on one of them, the copay went up $10. MRIs went from $110 to $120. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. That was the only change really for the year on that particular plan. But I was chatting with a client, and she was pretty upset about that change, and she scolded me. You know, people are on fixed incomes, and $10 means a lot, which I understand. But in the big picture of things, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But anyway, to check with people and make sure the copays are still okay. Sometimes there might be another plan they would prefer that have a different set of copays that might be lower in certain areas. And so double checking on the copays. Now, the years when there's a lot of changes, and I suspect that'll be here in the future with inflation kicking in, then definitely want to look at the copays. Most of the time, the insurance companies keep everything pretty close because they're in tight competition with one another, so they don't want any drastic changes. But everyone has kind of a different flavor, if you will, on how they want to do their copays, so to review those as well. Now, people that fall in the donut hole. So again, to review the medications, but especially people on very expensive medications and the donut hole, to kind of go over that with them so there's no shocks in the coming year when they go into the donut hole, and approximately how much it'll probably be in the donut hole. Also, during annual election, I like to remind people about the deductible on their Part D plan. So the deductible keeps going up every year, and people seem to forget it because I'll get phone calls in January. People are like, what's going on here? You know, why did my medication that costs only a few bucks, why is it so expensive now? Well, that's the deductible. People forget. So to remind people what the deductible is during annual election, that's part of the little review. And you want to be aware of it yourself so that, again, when you go to the pharmacy and you pay for your medications, if they fall in one of those tiers where the deductible applies, you're not shocked as far as that goes. And then I like to check with clients in terms of travel. Now, are you traveling a lot, or have you moved? If you've moved, then that could affect the Part D plan or Part C plan that you're on. Are you spending a large amount of time in different locations. So I have clients that have second homes in Florida and in Arizona. I had one client, they were down in Texas at a trailer park, and they got stuck down there because of COVID, and they couldn't get back home when they were planning on it, and the insurance company was thinking of canceling them because the mail was coming back saying they no longer lived there. Well, that wasn't the case, but they were stuck down in Texas, couldn't get back to Nebraska. So that being the case, if you're traveling, not spending large periods of time away, maybe a PPO plan might be more appropriate than an HMO plan if you're on an HMO plan. And then just checking in with people in general, just to make sure everything's going fine. Any snags, any problems. Sometimes it's just a one-off thing that happens. Sometimes people aren't happy with the particular plan they're on. And then for those on Medicare supplements, we can make changes to that year-round, but again, that comes up. So how much are you paying? And usually it just takes a few seconds to do a quote. If I can see that I can save them, $20, $30 a month, then we definitely want to look at switching from one supplement to the next. And then during annual election, quite often people talk to friends, they've watched all these advertisements, and I have people that want to switch from their supplement to Medicare Advantage, people on Medicare Advantage who want to switch to a supplement. And so annual election, October 15th to December 7th is when that's done. And so every year, you definitely want to be conscious of annual election and what's going on for you in your plan, and to talk to your agent to do at the very least a quick review to make sure that the plan you're on is the best plan for you, and that you realize all the benefits in your plan. Because I've had people call me up and say, wow, can I get dental with my plan? I was like, you have dental. Oh, I do? They don't remember us talking about it. It's easy to forget. Life is busy. So to make sure you're aware of all the benefits within your plan. If you need help with your Medicare plan, certainly give us a call here at Omaha Insurance Solutions, 402-614-3389, Chris Grimmin.